Hey everybody, welcome to Fanatic Breakdown. I'm your host Chris Higgins. And this is another life update. It's been a little while since I've done one of these. I think the last long form video I've posted was 6 months ago. That's half a year. It's been quite some time, and I know I've got some things to explain because on YouTube I've been almost radio silent in total over the past few months. Other than video every once in a while, I haven't really been posting. And I'm going to get into that today, as well as a flurry of other things. Like I said, it's been quite some time since I've posted a live update. I've got a lot of things to tell you guys about, but obviously the first one is, why haven't I been posting? Well, that is because YouTube has not been working for me very much recently. Over the past half year or so, I've been getting dramatically less and less views, to where the point where I get 20 or less views on YouTube Shorts, which is quite unheard of, and it just wasn't working anymore. I think there's a few reasons for that. I'm about to get into that, but I've actually moved most of my content over to TikTok now. I post my face in a lot more content now, which is not something I was really interested in, but it's just something I started doing. And I've been getting some views here and there, and then I'm going to explain why I stopped posting here as much in the first place. Now, the biggest reason for that is it became a huge stressor in my life and something that it shouldn't have became in the first place. If you know me, you know one of the most important aspects of my life, or the most important aspect of my life, is my relationship with the Lord. And I've been making an effort to cut out idols in my life, or things that I put on a pedestal. One of those things that I started putting on a pedestal that I didn't really realize it at the time was my YouTube channel. It got a lot of my attention, more than it should have. And it got in the way of a lot of other things, and it started getting to a point where if one of my videos didn't do well, woe is me, and it ruined my entire day. It really did, and it just became something that I thought of constantly. It became the number one thing on my mind above things that should have been a priority. Obviously, the biggest thing, it got in the way of my Bible readings. This was what I did when I woke up. I recorded videos, I edited. That's what I did when I woke up. And it became a huge problem. And then I also started putting it over things like my friends and family, which in retrospect I shouldn't have done. Like, I love my friends and family a lot. If you know me, that's one of the most important things in my life. I love spending time with my friends and family, and I started sacrificing that to make content, which I really shouldn't have done, because that led to a burnout. And now the next thing I'd like to cover is how I'm doing on a personal level. If you remember last time, or if you watched that video from about half a year ago, I was really struggling in my life at that point. There was a lot of things that I was dealing with that were holding me back. Now, not to say that that was horrible, that 6 months ago I was doing really awful. That's not true. But there were a lot of things that I wanted to work on. And I'm happy to report that I've done a decent job of that. That I've started making improvements that are necessary. I got back in the gym, which is something that I fell out of off and on since then. But I'm getting back and I'm consistent. My sleep, I've been sleeping extremely well. I'm really trying to be better about consistently reading my Bible on a daily basis, which is something that I've always struggled with, is just being consistent. So I've been working on that a lot recently. And the next thing I want to cover, that's probably going to be the last thing I cover, and it'll probably take the most amount of time, is what in the world I got into over the past 6 months. Basically recapping my past half year. It's been a while, guys, so there's a lot that's happened, and there are a few major things that I'll cover. And if you really want to see what my past 6 months have looked like, you can just go check out my Instagram, or maybe some of you guys are coming from Instagram, which is great. But the two big things that I'm thinking of that come to mind, especially when it comes to this channel and the fact that it's mostly about sports, is that I ended up taking my senior trip to Boston. That's the first one, which was really awesome. I got to see the Bruins, Red Sox, and Celtics play in one weekend. All three teams got a win, which at that point in time, the Red Sox were not a great team, so the fact that they won that game, it was the opener in Fenway, by the way. I got to see Aroldis Chapman close it out. They won that game pretty dominantly, which was really cool to see. The Bruins were pretty bad this year as a team, so to see them win that game was really, really cool and, shocking, honestly. And then the Celtics were great, but at that point, Jason Tatum was not playing because of an injury, so that wasn't the easiest game to win per se. I mean, they were playing the Wizards, and they won in a dominant fashion. I believe it was like a 26-point win, so it wasn't close. But to see all three teams get a win for my senior trip was really, really awesome. And that was my first time in Boston to see those teams play. Like, that's what I wanted to do for my senior trip. And I'm so lucky enough to have a mom that made that happen for me. I still think of that. It was a few months ago to this point, but I'm still just so thankful that that came to fruition for me. And it was so awesome. Like, honestly, I was starstruck being in that, being in, places like Fenway and TD Garden. Like, that was my dream. Like, that's what I want to do with my career. Like, I want to be in places like that for a living. And another cool thing is we were trying to go back to our hotel, and we kept having our rides get dropped because we had to find some sort of ride share to get back to the place, to get back to our hotel. And we were out there for so long, like, I was like, man, this sucks. I just want to go back to the hotel. But I got to see the reffing crew from the game, the Celtics-Wizards game, get in their cars to go to the next game that they were going to. So that was cool. I got to wave to them. That was pretty sick. I didn't want to go up and get pictures because I didn't want to intrude on what they were doing. Like, I know they have very busy schedules, but that was really awesome. And, maybe it was for the better that we ended up getting our ride dropped so much. Now I'm just going to go ahead and move on from Boston because I could talk about that for hours. It's just so amazing and so surreal that I got to do that. But the next thing is I got to be in the broadcast booth for a Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp game, which was really, really awesome. And I'm not going to call out who made that happen on YouTube, but I just want to say thank you to the bottom of my heart. I don't know if you want to be called out on, like, make public on YouTube. But I love you. I love your family. You guys are great. Making that happen for me was just a dream come true. But I got to meet some really great people in the broadcast booth. Scott Kornberg, Adam Glover, and Matt Davis. They were fantastic. Great people. Like, hearing them on the radio is one thing, but then meeting them and realizing that they're actually just great human beings was really, really great. And I got to sit back and listen to, like, how they do things and how they fill time or how they do ad breaks. And it was insane to hear how they do that stuff and, like, how they always have an answer for anything. And they just always have whatever they need to say at the tip of their tongues. It was so cool. And to, like, learn how the electronics in the booth work, that was so cool as well. As for the game itself, the first few innings, Jacksonville couldn't get anything going. And then they also gave up some early runs. So it looked like they were dead to rights for a majority of the game. They were playing the Gwinnett Stripers. And the Stripers ended up bringing in MLB All-Star Craig Kimbrell. And he ended up giving up runs to Jacksonville, and he had to be pulled, and he gave life to the Jumbo Shrimp. It looked like a game where they weren't able to get a single run across the plate, and they did it after Craig Kimbrell came in the game, of all people. So I got to see him from the booth on the mound, which was really, really awesome. An MLB All-Star. And then, bottom of the ninth, game was tied. First pitch, first batter that Jacksonville had up to the plate. Home run to left field. It was Davison De Los Santos. Walk-off home run. My first game in the broadcast booth ever. I got to see a walk-off home run. That is the stuff of storybooks. You couldn't have written a better ending on paper. And, like, walking out of the ballpark from that game, I just kept thinking to myself, like, this is what you want to do for the rest of your life. Like, you want to be around the game for the rest of your life. Like, do I know if I'm going to be in the broadcast booth? No. Do I know I'm going to be around sports for the rest of my life? Yes. Like, I will, whatever that looks like, I'm going to be around the game. Like, there's no other option for me. It was so surreal. And just to feel those emotions, to feel just the ballpark rumble as the walk-off home run was hit. Wow. That's all I got to say. Now, the main reason I decided to come back to YouTube and make this video 6 months later, after I made my last one, is that I've been counting my blessings a lot recently, and everything I've been blessed with, all of my amazing friends, my amazing family, the amazing church family that I have, the platform that I once had on YouTube and the platform that I'm trying to build on TikTok, my amazing coworkers at work, everybody. You've made this such an amazing past half year for me. And I just wanted to come back and share how blessed I am. Like, I'm almost 18 years old. In the next few weeks, I will officially be 18 years old. So I have the privilege of looking back on all the memories I've made as a teenager. What a blessing it is to miss things. and to have things to reminisce about and to have hope for the future that I can make more memories like that. It's so amazing. It's like I don't even know what else to say. It's just so fantastic to have a life that I can confidently say I've made something out of and that I can be proud of. And with that said, I feel like I've rambled for long enough, and some of what I said might not make sense to other people, but it made sense to me, so I'm going to post it. But with that said, I love you. Jesus loves you. I've been your host, Chris Higgins, and I'll see you next time.